Aloha guys, it's Logan back with GoGo Rental. Today, we are going to the deadliest beach on Oahu. You guessed it, Hanauma Bay. I know I'm excited, so let's go. Okay guys, we're loaded up. We're headed to Hanauma Bay right now. The parking situation at Hanauma Bay, it can be a bit, let's say, frustrating at times. So the park is letting in 40 people 10 minutes. That's basically determined by the 9-minute safety video that you have to watch before you're allowed to go down into the park. There's only 40 people that fit in the room, so every 10 minutes, another 40 people go down. The problem is that the parking lot doesn't accommodate this amount of numbers. And once we get back to some more post-pandemic type numbers, which are around 3,000 people a day, it definitely doesn't accommodate that. If you guys do want to increase your odds of getting parking right there, I would highly recommend taking a moped, scooter, or motorcycle, even an electric bike. So we lucked out today and there actually is parking available down here at the park, so lucky us. Lightning struck today. We got a parking spot right next to the entrance. This does not happen often, so thank you. After this, we just need to hop in line. Previously, you didn't have to make a reservation or anything like that, but since COVID, they've started a new reservation system. So you hop online before you're gonna come, make your reservation, do your thing, and then when you show up, you check in before you watch the video. Let's go! So Taz made the reservation for us, so he's got to go up to the window.
Okay, please follow the arrows to your left. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
We arrived at the park a little bit early, which I would always recommend doing. We were lucky enough to get in early as well, so the luckiest day ever continues. Now we're just in kind of this holding area that you sit in before you go in to watch the 9-minute safety video, and then after that, we'll finally be down in the bay, enjoying this beautiful day. Let's go. It's time to hop into our complimentary shuttle. You used to have to pay for this, but the luckiest day ever continues. Here we are, Hanauma Bay. Our reservation time actually wasn't until 12:40, but it's 12:46 and we're already down here, so the best day ever really does continue. Be sure to bring some reef safe sunscreen, oxybenzone free. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that right. We're gonna set up our basic beach package from GoGo Rental. We got 2 chairs, we got a beach tent. There really is not a lot of shade out here. There's a few palms, but they offer basically 0 shade. Taz is gonna be in the water, showing you guys all the best snorkel spots around the bay. I'm kind of a dry lander right now, so I'm gonna take care of everything up here on the beach. I'm psyched, let's go.
All right guys, so here we are, getting ready to go in the water. I'm gonna take you guys all the way down to the left-hand side of the beach down there. We're gonna scoop around, come back into the center here. It should be really nice. If you don't know what you're doing, don't go past the reef. We'll give you a good idea of what's kind of out here. This particular stretch of beach is the deadliest section of beach on the entire island. So more individuals drown here than any other spot, simply just because it's so shallow, it's very deceptive. So people go in there and they think they can just stand up, but you end up in 4 or 5 feet of water and all of a sudden you can't hit the bottom anymore. And then the other part too is the lifeguards have so many people to be responsible for. It's very hard to distinguish a happy snorkeler from a dead snorkeler because everyone's just laying down face down. But I think we're gonna have a good time. It doesn't look like anyone's died here yet today, so. All right guys, so today I'm gonna be using my freediving fins and my spearfishing buoy. These are not necessary and you're not gonna find them for rent in our shop. But the fins that we have at the shop are gonna be more than adequate for what you're doing out here. And they're probably gonna outclass a lot of the cheaper fins. Now today what we're gonna do is we're gonna go out over the reef. Now if you don't know how to swim, or you've never been snorkeling before, or you don't know how to swim, I'm not gonna recommend that you go out over the reef. I'm gonna recommend that you stay in close on the inside where the lifeguards can get to you quickly and the water is like 3, maybe 5 feet deep. But if you do wanna go over the reef, there's 2 places to do it. So at Hanauma Bay, what you're gonna notice, there is a reef line that's fairly close to the shoreline. You don't wanna swim over the reef, you wanna swim through the reef using the channels. There's 2 marked channels. One of them's on the left, the other one is in the center. So we're gonna go out on the left-hand side of the beach. We're gonna swim out into the center of the crater today, and then I'm gonna come back in through the center channel. Now, depending on the tide, these channels will develop natural rip currents that will kind of pull you out to sea. So if you don't wanna go out over the reef, stay away from those channel entrances. So anyways, today when I was swimming past the buoys, I saw this little school of O'Eos. So that was pretty cool. And these fish were actually pretty big. They're maybe like 2-3 feet long for some of the really big ones. And what you're gonna notice is that the majority of the fish that you're gonna find are gonna be right around the reef edge. So they're either gonna be on the inside of the reef or they're gonna be on the outside of the reef, but they're normally gonna be like kind of close to that reef edge. So the farther you get out to sea, actually the less fish that you're gonna see. All right guys, so we're here just on the other side of those buoys. You're gonna notice the water's cleared up a little bit. There's some fish swimming around. It's still fairly shallow. which is good because that's where you're gonna see some of those bigger fish. They kind of live in the holes and stuff in the reef. But when we look back towards the shore, you can already see it looks like we're super far out to sea. You can just barely see the lifeguard towers, and it hardly looks like there's anyone on the beach, and we're just getting started. So if you're not comfortable being like that far from shore, definitely stay on the inside. Don't go over the reef. And then right away here, we got a couple collays swimming around. You're gonna notice that they're gonna go duck inside this hole here. So kind of keep that in mind. The fish generally are gonna be out and hanging around. If you're coming in fast and splashing around, you're gonna scare them away and they're gonna go hide in their holes and you're not gonna see them. So if you wanna see fish, swim slow and try not to spook them. And then here you're gonna see it gets a little bit deeper. It's gonna get a little bit deeper than this, but this is pretty much about how deep it gets out here. It's not super deep, maybe 20, 30 feet. When you're in a place like this, especially Hanauma Bay, you want to make sure to control your buoyancy to keep yourself up off the ground. So you shouldn't ever be holding on to anything. You shouldn't ever be resting on the bottom. You should just kind of be floating around a little bit. And this is the kind of coral that you can expect to see out here. So these are like some type of cabbage patch coral. So you notice there's actually quite a bit of like healthy coral out here, which is nice to see. And again, here we're a little bit deeper. You're gonna notice that the water has like cleared up quite a bit, but you're also gonna notice that the fish have kind of disappeared. There's like not really a whole lot of them. I found this school of maninis floating around. These are little surgeonfish also. They got some baby parrotfish in there too. But that's kind of about it. This was like the biggest patch of life that I found out in the deep section. This is about 20 feet deep maybe, where I ran into these guys. So if you're looking for fish, definitely don't be ashamed to like stay in the shallow end because that's where a lot of the big giant fish are going to be hanging out. All right guys, so here you see me trying to sneak up on a roy. This is a peacock grouper. They're invasive out here to Hawaii, so when we're spearfishing we definitely kill them, but here this one's safe from us. All right, so here we're almost exactly in the center of the crater. So if you look out in front of us, that's like the crater entrance, so that goes out into the open ocean. And then over here, that's the beach. It's really hard to see, but you see that sliver of sand? That's the beach. Those are the lifeguard towers on the shore. And then this is the crater rim next to it. So yeah, we're kind of out here. And what you're gonna notice too is it's not actually that deep. It's only about 20, 30 feet deep.
A couple things to mention while Taz is out snorkeling right now. Once you're down here in the bay, there's gonna be 3 restrooms to use. There's showers to use. There's an information stand. If you guys are hungry, you can go back up the hill. I know they have a concession up there as well as a little gift shop, but really everything that you're gonna need for the day is gonna be down here. I really can't stress enough to bring some sort of shade, especially if you don't wanna be sitting in the sun for an entire day.
Still waiting on Taz. Who knows where he is? Actually, I think I see his buoy on the way in right now.
All right, so here now we're on our way back in and we're just kind of poking around. There's some corals around, some small sort of baby fish. This is a little blacktail snapper that I found swimming around. And over here, this is another roy that I was able to ambush. This one got spooked super hard and definitely ran for its life. Here's another one that's kind of rare. This is a clownfish or a broomfish or a razorfish. These you don't see every day. They look super cool and they just kind of hang around and float like spaceships. And now we're starting to get pretty close to that center channel that's going to take us back to the beach. You can actually see a couple of people swimming there in the background. And this is where you're going to start seeing some larger fish. Like this was a nice little parrotfish that I found swimming around. I'm basically like right up against the edge of the reef. You can see the white caps kind of breaking on the surface over there. This is an enui. They love this kind of whitewash type water. On most days, this area can be a little bit rough and dangerous, but today it was actually super calm and there were almost no waves. So we can get right up into the rocks and hang around with these fish. That guy got a little spooked, so he ran off there, but that's okay. And then what you're gonna notice is just a little bit more of the same kind of fish that we saw swimming around deep. So some of the small maninis, little surgeonfish poking around, even some parrotfish. And then now we're back on the inside of the reef. So you're gonna notice it's very shallow. It's a little bit on the hazy side, but it's still clear. And there's all kinds of fish. So there's still parrotfish, little enuis floating around, surgeonfish. So there's still definitely like quite a bit to see, even if you stay right here in the shallows. So I'm pretty much back where I started now. It took me about an hour to do that whole swim. There's the buoy floating around over there. The water over here is roughly around knee deep, and there is the beach. So let's go find Logan.
That is gonna be it from Hanauma Bay. We had an absolutely amazing time. Nobody died, thank you. I'm just kidding, guys. It really isn't that dangerous here. It's only because there's so many people that come here, so do not let that discourage you. Anyways, I'm starving. We're gonna go to Kona Brewing for lunch. We'll see you guys there. Have I mentioned that it's our lucky day. We didn't plan to hit happy hour, but we did. So if you're gonna hit happy hour at Kona, what's on special as far as apps go, it's gonna be the pork tacos and it's gonna be the pep rolls, both of which are really, really good. And yeah, this really is like the best day. We really come to this place for the view. As you can see, the atmosphere is awesome. And with it being only like maybe 2 miles, a mile from Hanauma Bay, it's kind of a no-brainer after being at the bay for the day. There usually is a wait here. Since it's the best day ever for us, we were able to cruise right in. We got seated right away. We got our beers in under 10 minutes, and I could not be happier right now. All right, guys, dinner is served here at Kona Brewing. I went with the matte crusted fish. Taz went with the shoyu chicken. After this, we're heading literally right across the street to China Walls, one of my favorite spots on island for sunset. We're gonna take you along with small kind bonus for this trip today. Here we are, guys, our last stop, China Walls. A few things to mention before we sign off and enjoy this beautiful sunset. One, parking, just find street parking. Follow the signs on the side of the road, pretty simple. Number 2 is gonna be safety. I would not recommend getting in the water unless you are a very strong swimmer and have the capability of pulling yourself back over the ledge. I'm Logan, this is GoGo Rental Hawaii. Until next time, guys, aloha.